We're out in Grandpa's shop, came to pick up the kids. But before we go home, we got a brand new pressure washer. So let's open this up, take a look at it, and maybe we'll hop around real quick because we've got some dirty bikes, so that might be kind of a good first test for it. So let's get this open and see how hard it is to start using.
Whoa!
I don't think this is going to be too much to put together. All right, let's get some stuff out of here.
Whoa, that's a nice Honda motor.
Okay, I don't know if we can see at the light. Looks pretty assembled. I don't think this is going to take too long. Okay, so we pulled out of the box a couple quick notes. Nobody likes ethanol in their small engines, so put some fuel guard in there, use ethanol free it looks like. There is no oil in the engine, and it came with a plug for the pump oil. Go and replace this from the shipping, and the one that came with it has a little breather on it. And then from there we've got a handle. You got your hoses. It's gonna be pretty quick.
You want a pull-up?
Nope. There we go.
It must need oil.
Oh, I see a little down there. Yeah, it's got oil in it.
Oh, wow.
Boy, vibration. Oh, here's the oil check right here.
So I'll talk out loud here real quick. I'll put a link in the description below of the model we got. I know the lighting's not that great here, but we decided to go ahead and spend a little bit extra. I was going over these with them. We went with the GX motor for the Honda, commercial motor, sleeve piston, manual choke, which that may not sound like a big deal, but a manual choke long term it's just nicer because you don't have to worry about those auto choke plugs being replaced. And then one of the things we weren't sure on here is we could tell it got a different pump. Not sure how different this is from the other model below it, but the pump has this window right here so you can see the oil. I think horsepower wise this is less than a half more than the 190, but like I said, with the commercial motor, cast iron sleeve versus aluminum manual choke, just supposed to be able to handle more hours. Cool, came with the oil shipped in this bag, kind of squeezable, kind of like AMSOIL's doing. AMSOIL's doing this with their diff oils now, and I think even some of their transmission fluids, so that you can kind of get up into hard to reach places. So if you read the reviews on Amazon, some people are saying they're having problems blowing a pump. So something to point out in the manual here is to hook it to water, prime it for 30 seconds. Perhaps people are running it dry, don't really know, but that's kind of a good point to make on here. Otherwise, if you've used a pressure washer before, this is as straightforward as putting the gas and oil in, hooking up the hoses. We've got a separate, if we can see it on here, it's a fuel line on, manual choke, manual throttle. So on my lawnmower, I've got the GCX 190, and instead of having a manual choke, I've got a plunger that sits next to the carburetor. And when it's sitting out like this, the choke is on, and as it gets hot, a needle pushes out and turns the choke off. And if that kind of clogs and wears out over time, you got to swap it. It's not a big deal, but if you have a manual choke, you never have to do anything.
Take that cap off. Might be hard. Spin it off. Good job spinning. There you go.
This one?
So you've got
Pull
4
hard.
tips of pressure from 0 to 40 degrees and a soap attachment.
Okay, put it in there. Push.
About ready to fire it for the first time. Hose is hooked up, water's on. Learned that this is a pressure adjustment valve, and so from the factory it's turned all the way in. That's full pressure. If you want to back it off, go counterclockwise, or you can just change a tip. I'd rather just change a tip and leave that alone. This is for your soap bucket if you're hooking up some detergents. With the black tip in the manual, it said for every 7 gallons of water you suck, you're going to pull in 1 gallon of detergent material. So I think this is rated for 2.5 gallons per minute. I'll have to look, I could be wrong, but that's like 2.5 minutes and you pulled 1 gallon of detergent. So now he's been sitting here holding the tip, and it looks like all the air is out of the line. Now I'll fire it for the first time. Do you want to fire it full throttle, or should we go at middle throttle?
That's full, there's middle.
Okay. Liam, let go of the handle. Oh, and then gas is on this way.
There we go.
Okay, so now we just got to get gas to the carb.
Again.
Maybe middle choke.
Pull the trigger, Liam. Let's give it some gas.
That's not too loud. We'll wipe that off. Don't spray your numbers sideways. Spray straight.
See how it started?
Yeah. Try.
Well, you sure don't start it on low speed.
Yeah, so it appeared not to want to start on low throttle. It started better on high, which probably makes sense if it's trying to turn the pump. We noticed while we were pressure washing that it started vibrating a lot. And so if we look at the chassis down here, it would appear that everything's bolted directly to it. And so I think what he was saying we're going to do is take some of these bolts out, put some like rubber grommets in, just absorb that vibration. And that should take care of a lot of that.
Oh yeah, no problem. It's not going to affect anything.
And I think that kind of represents maybe part of the problem for some people of the the difference of a unit like this. And we got it. Normal price is $530. There's a $50 coupon, plus we got 5% back on the Amazon Rewards card. And you could go buy a commercial unit for $400 more. And we're definitely getting a commercial motor here. Looks like a good pump. And so while yeah, maybe we shouldn't have to pull the motor off and do a couple things, by putting a few parts on here, we're going to instantly kind of bridge the gap a little bit between some of those commercial models. I wouldn't expect it to last quite the same as those. But for what you can get with just a little tinkering, I think it puts you in a really, really good value proposition for what you get. I mean, hey, we got a clean bike now. That looks pretty good without any chemicals. So there it is. I guess that was a pretty quick review on here. Not even really a review. It was just a pretty quick startup. It was the first time we had fired it, first time using it. Seems like a good unit. Time will tell. So thanks for checking out the video. Hit subscribe, and we'll be back next time.